more. Um, but just what we partnered with R&R specifically to bring big company benefits to small employers. When you look at this example, employer A and employer B, who wins in recruiting an employee to the company? Pay being equal. So in almost all instances, employer B is going to win. And we want to make sure that we help you become employer B without breaking the budget. So that's the important thing. We're also mindful of the fact that you have a budget that you're running, your cash flow, and we just want to help bring some solutions to help your business attract and retain top talent. One of the biggest challenges today, you mentioned your son is a 20-year-old, right? Working at the landscaping company. It's amazing how many different generations actually work in the workplace today. So you have your son, the 20-year-old, and then you have, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z. And today there's 6 generations in the workplace. I'm going to admit Linda. Give me 1 second. So having multiple employees in different generations within your company, you might have different needs with those employees. So they might have different needs based on where they sit in life. And we want to make sure that we help you in customizing those benefits. I took this from our public sector team at Colonial Life. They work very closely with a lot of governmental entities, and it's something that's impacting public sector as well as private sector companies. So I just thought you might find this helpful. Do you currently have multiple generations in your workforce?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So providing a one size fits all benefit package is sometimes a little challenging. And that's where voluntary benefits come in play. I'm going to figure out why Linda's not able to get in. No, she's in the lobby. So we'll keep an eye on that. So one of the things that we look at voluntary benefits to do is just help bring customization to your benefits. If you're offering health insurance or you're offering your core benefits, voluntary benefits could be a complement to that. So as you look at those multiple generations in your workplace, having a one size fits all solution for them might not work for everybody. So we bring customization through the voluntary benefits. So these are your typical benefits that are offered. And then what we look at is all of these things are now in play. And after COVID, after COVID's kind of things, the pressure of COVID is kind of softened a little bit. Employees are more cognizant of at-home work, remote work, and you have new challenges as a small business that maybe you didn't have pre-COVID. So we want to bring benefits to help you attract and retain those employees based upon their own personal needs. One of the things that we put together is a basic offering. We wanted to bring something that was really simple to your business, and it's group term life. A lot of times employees don't think about life insurance, it's not top of mind. And we've had several situations where an employee needed life insurance and didn't have it. And then what typically happens is the employer feels obligated to help that family out, whether that be with their own funds or in the form of a GoFundMe. What oftentimes people are surprised to learn is that you could offer a group term life policy to your team for $2 per employee per month for a $10,000 policy. And what that does is it gives them not only life insurance if something were to happen, but it gives them access to an employee assistance program. So we want to make sure that we call awareness to that plan. If you have life insurance already in place, that's fantastic. We just wanted to make sure that you know that that benefit is extended to any employer who has 5 or more employees. So we're excited for that. Typically, I know Aaron mentioned this at the beginning. A lot of times, those smaller employers, some of the benefits don't get extended on to you, or you have to meet certain participation. This is extended to employers that have 5 or more employees.
And
And
I
so
know
yep,
sorry, to jump in there, Jason, but for both of our employers that are on right now, they do have a core employer sponsored benefit that they're offering.
okay,
Um, so um, but case in point, I think it kind of speaks to the flexibility of the plans and the fact that it is available at an affordable option. So should you choose to look at any of these other things that Jason is going to talk about today, we can always look at moving and consolidating so that everything is with one carrier just for ease of administration too.
absolutely. Thank you, Aaron. So when you look at the actual voluntary benefits, that we were at an employer this week, Eric, and I'm the gentleman who's on the line. He's part of the Colonial Life team. We work very closely together. We saw multiple generations within that employer group as we presented to the employees. And accident insurance was something that I asked a couple of really basic questions. Do you live an active lifestyle? Do you have children in sports? And are you somewhat clumsy as an adult? And more hands went up with the clumsy as an adult than living the active lifestyle, surprisingly. But the accident plan, like all the Colonial Life plans, pay cash to the employee in the event of a claim. So unlike medical insurance that pays the doctor, the hospital, the medical bills, all these plans pay cash directly to the employee, and they use the money however they see fit. And oftentimes people ask, why do you pay cash? Well, employees have deductibles on their insurance, right? They have maybe a loss of wage if they get hurt or sick and can't work. And then one of the things we know is that non-medical bills, non-medical expenses still continue. The mortgage, the car payments, the day-to-day living expenses still continue when a claim happens. So what we allow the employee to do with your help and your support is to design plans based on their family and their needs. And they have the choice of picking any of these plans that are listed here. Accident insurance is pays cash in the event of an accident. It can cover the employee, it can cover their spouse, it can cover kids. Again, kids in sports. This is a great plan. And it pays cash in the event of an accident. Older employees or employees who have had a family history of critical illness might have an interest in critical illness insurance. It pays a lump sum in the event of heart attack, stroke, or cancer. And if you've ever been through a critical illness with a family member, it often impacts two incomes, the person who's dealing with it and the person who's caring for them. So you're giving them the employees the access to that plan. Dental insurance is an offering that we have. Dental is pretty self-explanatory. We have a variety of coverages that we would go in more detail with you in the one-on-one. Disability is paycheck insurance. So we have disability options. So if you don't have disability, the great thing is you could extend this and you don't have to meet participation requirements. And then lastly, life insurance. So Aaron shared you have a great core benefit. Both of you have great core benefits in place. These could be a complement to those core benefits. So Aaron, anything to add before we do just a little deeper dive into the accident and disability?
I think just before you go into it, pointing out that the employers on this call all have higher deductible options and have expressed concerns at times over how do my employees cover those higher deductibles, either for themselves or for their dependents. And when it is an accident situation or a critical illness situation, because it is paid in cash, it can directly offset the deductible related costs or any other thing. So these really are designed to help for those one-off situations when it's not an office visit copay, or when you really have a more major medical event, to help offset those higher deductibles. So
Absolutely.
I'd actually correct that. We have a very low deductible plan.
you guys do, yep. Other people on the call have a higher deductible, but yeah, but you have expressed concern even about that, the deductible level that it is, and when you go in for those different expenses, it can be a lot for people. So
And kudos to you for providing a low deductible option.
But we used to have a no deductible option, but those are just getting harder and harder to find. So
yeah,
we did have to make a shift, but we can, talk about. I think we're a little bit different situation, and what I'm looking for might be a little bit different, or the reason I'm on this call might be a little bit different than some other employers. So we can maybe talk through some things, in a one-on-one. So
absolutely.
I'll shut my mouth and listen.
Feel free to talk at any time. And Linda, it's great to have you on too. Sorry for the challenges getting you out of the waiting room, but glad to have you on as well. And you're on mute, by the way. So I love if you're talking, we can't hear you. So
I hope when I received a phone call that didn't interrupt things. I don't usually do Zoom calls on my phone, but I don't have a camera on my computer here, and I didn't think to bring my laptop from home, so I apologize.
We're making it work.
Linda.
We appreciate you being on, and it didn't do anything, and we're glad to have you on. So
thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, so accident insurance is, when I use this example, this isn't a high deductible plan by any stretch, a $1,500 deductible. Some might say, you know what, that's starting to move towards a high deductible. But more and more common, employers have a $3,000, $5,000 deductible. And this example of Mia has a United Healthcare plan. She has a $1,500 deductible through United Healthcare. And then she incurred these costs with her health insurance. And then if you look on the far right side, this is how Colonial Life actually paid for her accident. So all of those amounts on the right are actually from our accident insurance policy. So the leg fracture, there's a payment for that. Emergency room, $150. X-ray, $60. Crutches, $100. Physical therapy, $45 times 3, $135. Notice Mia's costs were $1,580. We paid her $2,245. She still has out-of-pocket expenses like mortgage, car payments, day-to-day living. She can use that to help supplement that. And one of the nice things that we can do is pair accident insurance with disability. So if you offer disability, sometimes there's a gap in either short or long term. So we can offer a short-term disability and or structure our plan to act and serve as like a long-term disability. What we've found is that very few employees have even $1,000 in their savings account. So they're living paycheck to paycheck. Now, when a claim happens, they're left with that responsibility of coming up with those uncovered medical bills, supplementing a loss of income, and still maintaining their family and their lifestyle. So what disability does is it protects the paycheck. And I found this third stat to be pretty eye-opening. When we surveyed employees in our survey, 66% of employees say that it's their employer's responsibility to make sure they're financially secure and well. So I know you help them by paying them a paycheck for the work that they're doing. They feel it's also your responsibility to help ensure that they're financially well if something happens. So we see a lot of times disability prevents you from becoming the lending institution when hardship comes for that employee. And so the disability is a great plan. We often advise employers, if you're looking to add disability, let the employee cover that expense on their own. Let them protect that level of income that they feel is appropriate and know that it covers up to 60% of their gross wage. So it's not going to make them whole in terms of what they're accustomed to earning, but it's going to get them in a good financial spot so they can still meet their monthly obligations. Amy or Linda, is there any questions on either the accident, the disability, or any of the coverages so far?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I mainly trying to glean information and see, you know,
Okay.
if we think it would be beneficial for us to do anything more.
Okay, perfect. One of the things we do is we actually use technology. I know you see Eric with his headset there. Eric does a lot of the benefit counseling of your team, and we use technology to help communicate. That QR code is actually live. I know Linda can't do it because she's on her phone, but Amy, if you scan that, you could, and it will bring you to a benefits postcard. It's an enrollment communication that we use for businesses, and it's an example of one of the clients that Aaron and Lisa work with. So we use that to help communicate the benefit. Whoops, excuse me. Sorry. I don't think you care to see my email. Sorry. So there's the QR code again. I don't know if when you took the picture, Amy, if it automatically kicked to my email. I'm sorry about that.
No, it went to Belinsky Homes.
Okay. So Belinsky Homes is an actual business client that we work with R&R, and we provide flexible enrollment support to them. And we use the technology to help communicate the benefits that are being offered. And then one of the things that we bring in partnership with R&R is we onboard the employees to a program called Employee Navigator. So we assist the employees with helping make their benefit elections. And what we do is take the fear of technology away. Go ahead, Amy.
So we use a platform to manage our onboarding.
Yep.
So every employee gets like a new employee packet. Currently, there are forms that are provided by R&R and our dental, which is kind of run through a separate entity or whatever. And they get all those, they upload them to that platform. It happens to be Bamboo.
Okay.
How would this integrate with something like that?
Yeah, we could, that's, I would take that to the next conversation.
Okay.
But absolutely, we could look at ways to integrate these solutions with that.
Okay.
I'm familiar with Bamboo. I think that let's have a one-on-one to discuss how we actually connect those things together. But
I know that there's a possibility to make it integrate, because I'm certainly not interested in making more work for myself. As it is, we've been doing a fair amount of hiring, and I'm finding myself chasing down, and some people are more technologically apt than others and not filling out the forms completely. And it just, yeah. So if I can simplify that, this would be awesome.
And Amy, what you're saying is music to our ears. Okay, because what we do, and this is where Eric is nodding his head, we act as an extension of your team in partnership with R&R to assist with the onboarding of your new hires to their benefits. So that's part of the service that's being provided exactly with this screen.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think go ahead, Erin.
Just as a point of clarification on the dental too, we are the agent on the dental. It's just administered through a trust, which is where that third party comes into play, but it's still with R&R as the broker partner, which is why we're able to incorporate that into the other communication materials we do.
Yeah, I think it would be worth it for us to have a one-on-one and just kind of review everything that we have. I'd certainly be open to looking at adding. But if there's any way that we can simplify, consolidate, make easier, but also not increase our costs, which is a huge piece of the puzzle. So yeah, I think a separate one-on-one would be a good idea.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good.
Perfect. So this is just giving you an idea of what the cost would be for your staff, for your team. So breaking them down, I use the left column to just show you, the cost per month for the different plans for the employee only. Obviously, if they look to add family, and you can see there's affordable options that the employees can pick and choose, and they can decide what makes the most sense for their family and their budget. And the great news about it is you're not advising them on this. We're helping advise them on the benefits. That's where Eric comes in. He does a great job of onboarding your employees to the experience and helping them make that choice on what makes the most sense for their family. But again, giving you an idea of what the cost is. And this is based on a 44-year-old non-tobacco user. And there's situations, again, I have little asterisks next to the disability. It's income based and age based, as well as critical illness. But everything else has nothing to do with the age of the employee. So any thoughts or questions on that? Perfect. And I'll be sure to send you this PowerPoint deck as well as a recording once this is all done. And then we'll get you a link where you could click and schedule a time if you want to meet one-on-one. Okay. So the last thing is really just thank you. We appreciate you making the investment of time today. And what you'll get as a follow-up to today's session is the recording, number one. We'll get you the PowerPoint deck, and then we'll get you a link that you could actually, if you want to learn more, we'll get you a link where you could actually schedule a time, or we could do a deeper dive into your benefits and how to simplify it for you.
Great. Yeah, I think I'd like to do a little background work with our accounting firm who kind of manages, like, she will enroll everyone into the life insurance and, whatever we offer as an employer. I'd like to get a handle on what are those costs for us and for the employees so that when, we regroup, I have a better comparison.
Sure. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Anything, Linda, from you before we jump off?
Sorry, I'm trying. Oh, am I on? I'm not
Yeah.
muted. Okay.
No,
I thought
you're
I was
good.
muted. Sorry.
No.
Like I said, I was just trying to kind of glean some information today. Our typical plan year starts 4/1, so I don't think we would implement anything before that at this point.
Okay.
I just thought, listen in and see what's offered, and I would have to talk about it with the other powers that be here and see, what their thoughts are on some of this. But I'll look over the PowerPoint for the parts that I missed too. So I apologize for coming in a little late and being discombobulated.
It's all good. We appreciate it, and we're thankful you joined today. I'll just give you one thing before we close. These are not benefits that have to fall in line with your open enrollment, so just keep that as food for thought. So sometimes introducing these benefits off cycle, I call it, so it's not at renewal, it is the most beneficial. So just keep that as food for thought as we go into the next stage of the conversation. It could be introduced really at any time. And again, I want to say thank you to you both for jumping on. Aaron and Lisa, thank you for the opportunity. And you all have a great day.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.